Hi guys, it's me, Sarah Gallagher. If you haven't met me before, I am the founder of Widowed Solo Parenting. You're Not Alone, the group that I'm in right now. I am the founder of The Days Are Full, which is a blog site website where we talk about blogs and stuff about how my blogging adventure about how my life had become very different after I became a widow and a solo parent. So if you want to check that out, it's www.thedaysareful.com. And I'm also a grief coach, and I have several programs out there to help you through one-on-one and coaching and group coaching, and if you'd like some online courses. But I wanted to thank you for joining us. What are the worst and the best things that ever been told you as condolences, whether by friends or family? I'm here to talk to you about them. I'm authentic. I don't have my special shirt on. I haven't had a shower. My hair is disgusting. I got a cold sore. Woohoo! Life. What are you going to do? You keep carrying on, right? But I wanted to share with you because I found that when I asked this question, it made me feel very more connected to each and every one of you, because I know each and every one of you have heard some sort of version of these condolences, whether for good or for bad, and they have stuck with you enough so that you're talking to me about them. And there are some that are very unique, I will say that, but for the most part, there are so many similarities towards all of these, the main themes that I've heard, and that I wanted to let you know that it may feel that you're the only person experiencing this, that you may feel that this is the only thing that sets you apart as what your grief that you're going through and what you're feeling and what people have been saying to you. But I promise you, you are not. You're not the only person who's gone through this. You are not the only person who's heard these things. And I wanted to go through these with you to let you know that there are some very common things that you're going to hear, and there are some very wonderful things you're going to hear as well. And I'm going to now share with you the best of the best and the worst and the worst. Right. Let's start from the beginning. I'm going to attack this one heads on. There have been several comments about this one, so I'm going to read 5 of them out right now. And you may have heard some of these, or at least a variance of them. It was God's plan. God needed him home. You have to trust God's plan. His work on earth was done, obviously. God is still working on you. He's an angel now. Only the good die young. All of these are very incredibly hurtful. They're very incredibly hurtful because really, first of all, we shouldn't even bring God into this or any entity that you believe is the great beyond. He had nothing to do with this. I mean, death is death, right? There's no rhyme or reason for it. It just has to happen. And unfortunately, it happened to your loved one. Saying that this was a plan, that God wanted somebody dead, is not God's plan. Saying the fact that God needed him is not something that you say to a griever, because what? Do you not need your husband? Your kids not need your husband? The one that I read out that really got me was his work on earth was done. Obviously, God is still working on you, which is such a backhanded way of saying that you're not good enough and you haven't fulfilled up your potential. That's not fair, because now you're here by yourself, taking care of your kids, and somebody else is judging the fact that you're not good enough. Like, really? Is that appropriate? It's not. So if you've had anybody say anything like that that's been remotely similar to what I just said, put a comment in. Let me know. Did somebody say something about religion that really got you in a bad way? Because really, it's not anything to do with them, right? It's you can't think of the fact that there is a reason for them to die. There isn't. There really isn't. And otherwise, it's really hard to take. Some of the other ones that came up were things like about your kids, talking about, oh, this will make your kids stronger, or kids are resilient, or and as much as I realize that yes, your kids will go stronger, and yes, your kids will be resilient, you have to understand too, from their point of view, they're trying to understand, they're saying, oh, your kids will be okay. They're sweeping your kids' grief under the carpet. That's not acknowledging their grief. That's not saying that their hurting as much as you are and as any human would be. And I will tell you that even infants, if their parents die, are aware of that loss. They feel that absence. So if you have a child that has been experienced a death of their parent, regardless of what age, yes, they will get stronger. And yes, they are resilient. But why? Because this is the life they've had to lead. But they will still have to deal with all their grief. They're still going to have to deal with the fact that they've been broken. And they're now going to have to test their own resilience throughout their lives with your help, because now they're always going to be forever for missing a father. Have you heard any comments like that? The fact that your kids will be stronger or more resilient. Like nuts. Okay. I love this one. I know how you feel. My dog died. I know how you feel. My budgie died. I know how you feel. That guy I dated like a couple years ago briefly, I just found out he died. I understand what you feel. No, you don't. You have no idea. No idea. How even, the fact that they would actually compare that, and I realize they're trying their best most to connect with you, to make you understand that they understand your death, but really they don't understand. You've lost your best person. Comparing that to a budgie or a dog or this guy that you briefly dated is so underhanded, and I don't think they realize how much that hurts you, but you've had a life with this person. Your best person is gone. That hurts. Has anybody of you heard one of those comments? All right, let me think of something else. Here's one. You should be done grieving. It's been 2 months. Oh, 2 months, really? Oh, I should obviously be done with this then. Obviously, I had spent my life with this person for as many years as you have with this person, and now you're done, and you're just going to brush them off and say, okay, I'm done with 2 months, I'm done grieving. There's something that came up as well, what I thought was very interesting, and it really told me, and if I can try to find this, but the fact that, here it is. This is one of the good quotes. Okay, we've gone through a lot of the bad quotes. Here's a good quote, and this really resonated with me. When others tell you to get over your grief, you can tell them to get over their need for you to get over your grief. And that was by Joanne Cacciatore. I love that, because really when people are saying, it's been 2 months, move on, like whatever, deal with it, they're not being empathetic to you. What they're really saying is that they are uncomfortable with your grief. They're uncomfortable with their own feelings, and because they can't deal with it themselves, they can't be around you. They can't deal with you having these big emotions because it scares them too much. And I'm sorry, but you do have these big emotions because your guy or your woman died on you. Of course. So if someone says that to you, if anyone says it to you that you have to be done now, how are you not over it? How come you're not realizing that you have to go on with your life? That hurts. That hurts because it doesn't help you. It tells you that they can't deal with you, and that's even more lonely because you already feel lonely and adrift. All right, here's some other ones. I'm going to go to some good ones. Being a good mother while my world fell apart was the hardest role I ever played. I like that one. And the reason why I like that one is because it acknowledges the fact that your world has fallen apart. And it acknowledges the fact that you are still a woman here on her own now, taking care of your kids. And it's going to be so hard to try to juggle your own grief and your kids' grief and going forward and living and all the details of the death and everything is so hard. Really, I can say that the bravest thing I ever did after the loss of my husband was be here for my kids, was to be alive for my kids. It'd be so easy just to kick off and say, I'm done. I can't do this. You can do this. You can do this. And the other thing that came up is the fact that, here it is, another really good one I love. I have faith in you. You are strong, even though you may not feel like it. That's encouraging. That makes you feel like you can go somewhere, right? I mean, this is the best of the best. This is what we need to hear, how that you are strong, and it brings into the fact that you can go forward, and you even though you might not feel strong, you can go forward and you can figure out what's going to happen in your next life, even if you don't know that. And that dovetails into one of the bad ones, which comes up again and again and again and again, which is the idea of you're so strong. How do you do it? I couldn't be strong like you, or anything to do with strength. And you're so strong, and how are you doing this? And this is amazing. It's because you don't have a choice. It's just you and your kids. You have to get up in the morning with them. You have to make sure that they're okay. You have to make sure they're fed, even if you can't eat yourself. You have to make sure that they are going forward, even if you don't feel that way. So don't tell me, oh, you're so strong, I don't know how you do it. It's because I don't have a choice. Because people depend on me. You get that, right? Drop a link below, drop a like or a love if you resonate with that. You are strong. You don't want to be, but you have to be. But you can go forward. Alright, let's see, what's some other ones? There's so many in here, guys. It's like, it blows my mind. Oh, you're so young, you'll find someone new to take its place. Ooh, isn't that nice? That's comforting, isn't it? Hey, it's okay. You've loved. You're going to love again. Someone else is going to love you. That's great. You don't want that. You don't want anybody else right now. You can't even think about the fact that going on and being dating right now. Maybe you have, I don't know. The point is, you can't belittle your experience by saying, oh, you're so young. You're going to find somebody. Yeah, we are young. We're totally young. We're young widows. Whoever thought we'd be a young widow? Whoever signed up for this? We didn't. And yeah, we're young. Yeah, and we'll maybe, probably, find someone else down the line, but that diminishes the fact that you had a wonderful, fantastic experience with your love, and now it's gone. And it doesn't matter if you're young, and it doesn't matter if you're going to find someone else. What matters is the fact that you're a person who's gone. And that goes into everything that I talk about. There's so many ones. There's things like why. So I talk about the fact that they're saying, why are you not done with grief yet? It's been 10 months. And one of the other things that come up is, why are you happy? Why are you showing happy pics? Why are you dating again? How dare you find your own comfort in being alive and enjoying yourself? You can't win, can you, as a widow? Like, either you're not grieving enough, or you're too happy. I mean, it's like, what do you want from me? You're human. You are allowed to do what you need to do. You do your grief on your way. You don't let anybody else tell you that, okay? If you decide that you're ready for dating, then date. If you decide that you want to start dating and it doesn't work, then that's fine too. If you can be like me and you're like, I'm not going to even think about sex or dating for like 5 years, 7 years, and then magically something happens, I mean, you don't know. You have no idea what's going to happen. But for someone else to butt in and try to tell you what your life should be and how you should acknowledge your life is not fair. So I'm going to stop there, because that's been a lot of really bad things I've been talking about. I want to talk about some other really beautiful things that I heard from this. I'm angry from you. If I could have one wish, I'd bring him back for you and your children. It's not fair. I'm sorry. See, that's beautiful. I love that. I love that, because that really shows empathy. That shows me that you are feeling how I feel, that you want to make sure everything's okay, but knowing you can't. That's not fair. And you're sorry. I mean, that gets me on so many different reasons and so different levels. Oh, yeah, this was on. This is, again, like a bad one. If you need anything, let me know. Crickets. Unfortunately, and this is something I've talked about in some of my other lives, the fact that when you lose your partner, you actually lose a lot of the friends that you had before, because that connection is gone, because he's gone, because that what actually was a linchpin is gone. And other times, the ones that you actually were friends with before your husband was, they kind of drift off too, because they have their own lives and you're in your own grief, and they can't deal with this because it's your grief, and why would they want to deal with that, whoever does? And they're still living. They have their kids and they have their partner and they're doing their other things, their extracurricular activities, but then it's just you, and it's you are just by yourself. And you know that you will lose people, right? But you also know that can also connect to other people, which is why we're connected in this group, to other widows and other people who actually understand exactly what you're going through. Some of your friends will be here, some of them not. Some of your friends will say, we are here for you, and they'll try to help. And they'll do the best they can. And they'll give you food, and they'll give you care packages, and then maybe they'll walk with you in the park. I don't know, maybe they'll actually give you some babysitting days. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Typically, this outpouring of affection does happen fairly recent on the grief period, like in the first couple months, and then after that, it kind of dies off, because again, they've gone back to their own, and it's just you. And that's tough. Which is why people who just show up for food are amazing. Why people who just show up and say, hey, I'm here for you are amazing. People saying, I'm angry for you. People who send you quotes or verses about your strength are amazing. People send you memories about your husband or your wife. I mean, that's wonderful. I mean, some people think that if they talk about your wife or husband who's deceased, that you're going to be, it's going to bring you down and be emotional and not be able to deal with it. But if anything, it's the opposite. You need those wonderful, good stories about your husband. You need other people to remember them the way you did, the wonderful person that he was, and knowing that you're not alone in that. Those are good things you can hear. Other really good things is that take time for yourself. And I know that was tough because a lot of the time you don't actually have any time to yourself because you're just taking care of the kids or you're working or you're doing your housekeeping, and how to find that time is incredibly difficult. I made a post about this, a blog post about this, and I actually have listed out the ways you can find your time and then be able to find moments in the day to be able to get back into yourself and find that time for yourself, even though you're solo parenting, even though as a widowed only mother with 2 kids, at one point under 4, like the 4-year-old and the newborn. And I still had to figure out how to grieve, and I still had to figure out how to appreciate me and to find time to myself. And why I can do that, you can. Another wonderful one was courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, I will try again tomorrow. That was by Mary Ann Rochmaster. I thought that was fantastic. I thought that really, really showed. I mean, you don't have to be strong. You don't have to make these big outbursts of emotion or these big outbursts with your kids. You can just be this silent person going, I'm just going to deal with this, suck it up, feel the feels, and then we'll try again tomorrow. That strength of just going on to be here is amazing. I did this poll, I think it's 6 months ago, with another widows group, and, I had over 200 responses, and it blew my mind, really. And compiled these, the best and the worst, and the most common ones, and the ones under the same theme, into a section. I have created this resource for you. So we have what people hear, what widows hear. So instead of saying, if you need anything, say, next column, can I bring you dinner on Sunday? Next column, why the change of emphasis? Why was this necessary to make that change and wording change? Actual offers help better than open-ended ones. I'm going to give you another one. Okay. Instead of saying, you're young, you'll get another one, say, she or he will be your beloved spouse forever. And why do you say this? You validate the relationship. You don't treat it as a commodity. You try one more. There you go. Okay, there's so many of them. Time heals. Instead of saying that, say, time will teach you how to live with your grief. Grief will never go away. It just becomes normal. All of this. I mean, I have one where, like, how are you doing? Sent by text or Facebook. Don't say that. Say, have you eaten today? If they haven't, send pizza. Be actionable with your intents. So the reason why I did this is because I wanted to create a resource with everything that we hear. Say what else would be better to say instead, and then through changing of mindset, why. Now, I did this because I thought it'd be very good, because I hear so many people talking about the fact that they hear this all the time. I thought it'd be amazing to be able to give this to you as a resource, so you can say, hey, people, my friends, my family, take this. Just know this is what you should be aware of if you want to help me. And if you're not okay with that, if you don't want to share that with them, it's a fantastic resource to have on you to know that these things are not unique, unfortunately. These things are things that widows and widowers hear all the time. That is not just you. And that if how to see it as a better way for you to help you get through. Because that's really what it's all about, helping you get through. This was such an emotionally validating time, even for me, being 7 years in, knowing that all these things that people say, people are idiots. They try, they really do, but they don't get it, right? They're not going to get it unless they've gone through it. You've gone through it, I've gone through it, I've gone through it all. And I want to make sure that you have something to make sure that you are not alone. That you can laugh at the ridiculousness of what people say. And laugh at the ridiculousness that you don't need to take these to heart. That you know what's good for you. And to ones that are really good, the good quotes, hang on to those. If you've identified with any of these, whether it would be good or bad, put a comment in. I'd love to hear what you say. I'd love to hear what you've gone through, because your experience needs to be validated. I validate that. Let us all validate that. Let's share our stories and become stronger together. And if you are looking for someone to help you figure that out, how to get into that next step, to how to get through your grief, to how to walk with it, how to know what's best for you in your time and your next identity, DM me. This is what I do. I help people who are grievers, who are mourners, who are grieving their love, their life, and the death of their own identity, to help them find their own journey through that again, and find passion, and find love, and find everything you need. Just find you again, and by that, helping your children as well. DM me. Book a call with me. I'd love to help with you. Till then, everyone.